Hooky spooky, everybody here. We're getting spooky, hooky dooky, everybody's queer. Hey, what's up? Happy Pride Month.
Ow.
Happy Pride Month. Yeah, everyone's gay this month. Everyone has to be gay. Sorry, folks. I don't make the rules. It's that month.
Thanks, Biden.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon, making us gay. That's what
Joe Brandon.
Yeah, that's what it's. LGBTQ. The B stands for Brandon. Mm-hmm.
It's all making sense now.
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Does that mean the T stands for Trump?
It does.
Oh no!
Oh, I should make a shirt out of this.
I think you'll be beaten to death.
Probably. That'd be pretty funny though, right? Me getting beaten to death over a Biden Trump shirt.
What would the L and the G be?
Ligma.
Oh wait, let's go, Brandon.
Oh wow!
Oh my God.
Wow! Let's go, Brandon Trump.
In Trump.
Let's go, Brandon and Trump. That's pretty good. Cool.
Wow. Okay, you make sure that'll be either the best shirt you've ever made or the worst that'll end with your death.
Yeah. So, do you think there's any Biden-Trump voters who voted like Biden last election and are gonna vote for Trump this election?
Yeah, I don't believe in like undecided voters. Like, I don't know. That just seems like just people who are just like, well, I don't know. They've got to convince me. It's like, what do you want to like?
Right.
Like, it's all just like culture war issues now. Like,
Right.
That's really like defining them. So it's just like either you believe one culture war nonsense or the other culture war nonsense. So
yeah, it all sucks.
Oh yeah.
The Republicans more than the Democrats, but it all sucks.
It all sucks.
So, speaking of LGBTQ, today we're here to talk about Profit and Lace, the most T of the LGBTQ episodes of DS9, and unfortunately so.
Yeah, that's not a compliment.
Not at all. No. Don't get it twisted. Profit and Lace is hated.
I was surprised to learn this actually won like the Spock's Brain Award for the worst Deep Space Nine episode.
Yeah, and you know, Deep Space Nine has some episodes that are kind of mid, but this one is like objectively bad.
Yeah, just like tonally and you know, I think initially a lot of people talk about just like how the tone of it is, but also like it does not age well, especially given like how it approaches you know a lot of like what happens, like, you know, transness and just that in general. It's just any sort of gender related stuff. It's
pretty bad. It handles it poorly. It's like picking up a cast iron pan with your bare hands, poorly handled.
Yeah. Well, not just picking it up with your bare hands, but then also just like then moving it while it's sizzling your hand between your legs, and then just holding it there with your thighs.
Oh yeah, and just like castrating yourself with the handle of a cast iron pan, cast iron-erating yourself.
And then jumping in front of a 16-wheeler.
Yeah, that's about what this episode is like. But first, we need to talk about something. We have a Patreon, Pat? Of course we have a Patreon. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. If you like the show and want to keep us ad-free and editorially independent, please go to patreon.com. For as little as $2 a month, you can help support us, and we would really appreciate it. And you also help support our other shows, such as A Prison Breakdown, such as The Media Dungeon, such as Getting Head, a Bucket Cast, such as Dumb Idiot Bullshit, such as My Wife, all on the Dumb Idiot Bullshit Podcast Network. And for $5 a month, you are a producer of our shows, and we say thank you to people just like Dylan Lance, Jordan Hale, Elizabeth Hearn, Nick Savard, Shane Sawyer, David Craning Seitz, Electric Baphomet, Gursky Jormore, Kyle Simmons, Gillian McCrary, SFC Punk, 7 of 9, D. Riker, Ethan Adams, James Hartman, Iggy, Abigail Simpson, Shane Williams, Sam Mayo, Seb, Robert Yolito, Asher Pliskin, Skeptic, Papa Poison, Awful Star Trek Drawings, Jose Martinez, Nova, Gabe Siciliano, Big Strong Boy, Vinny, Luna Dahlia, Former Twink, Nathan G, DJ Robinson, Phil McCavity, Danny, Locke Finile, Anthony Cabrera, B-Flig, and our good friends over at the Hate Speech Podcast, the Bruce Campbell Podcast, and Anamorphin Time Podcasts. Check them out.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, so once again...
I always think I hear new names.
You do. We always got new people subscribing,
Hells yeah.
$5 tier people are better.
$5.
We love
$5 Patreon tier.
Hell yeah. Also on our Patreon, for $10 a month, you can get access to... The Media Dungeon, which has every single episode of Star Trek ever released in the highest quality ever released, including the best upscales of DS9 and Voyager. That's right, you heard it here. DS9 and Voyager in HD, you dumb son of a bitch. I also have over 19,000 films. You know how many films that is? That's more than every other streaming service combined. I've got over 1,700 shows, which is more than any streaming service has. I've got shit, dog. I got all types of shit for you to watch. If you like media,
if you watch them all, you'll get a prize.
Exactly. I looked at it, and I think I have if you watch it continuously, 30 years worth of film at this point.
Yeah. So if you start now, there will be a prize waiting for you.
At the end of I'll probably be dead, but it's okay. Yeah. You can still try to collect it from somebody. I'll leave it in my will.
That's Earth as it is, we got probably a good 15 years left, so you better start.
Yeah. Start watching now. You won't get through.
Start watching. We got 15 years before this entire rock becomes uninhabitable.
Indeed. And then for $20 a month, you get access to merch. I just send out merch every month. This month, I'm sending out shorts. Star Trek themed shorts. Ooh. How do you like that? Just in time for summer. So, if you want that, go subscribe. That's, once again, patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. Go subscribe. Help us out. Give us a few bucks. We would really appreciate it, and we very much appreciate everyone who helps support us. Thank you so much. So,
yeah.
Profit and Lace. We ready to get into this bullshit?
We are.
All right. Profit and Lace is DS9 Season 6, Episode 23. First aired on the 13th of May, 1998. 145th episode of DS9, both produced and released, and the 523rd episode of Star Trek released overall. This one is written by showrunner and legend Ira Stephen Bear, and also Hans Beimler, who is also a legend, having written 10 episodes of TNG, including The Emissary, Shades of Grey, and Yesterday's Enterprise, and 26 episodes of DS9, including The Sword of Kallus, Trials and Tribulations, The Magnificent Ferengi, Far Beyond the Stars, and What You Leave Behind. This one is directed by Alexander Siddig, best known as Dr. Julian Bashir, and he also directed the DS9 episode Business as Usual. So it has pretty good writers, and some of the best writers, and a totally competent director. So I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, it did seem like there was, from how Armin Shimmerman says it, I guess like there was some sort of miscommunication on whether it should be like a farce or it should be serious. And I guess Alexander Siddig directed it extremely seriously. And I guess like the writers meant it more as like being more farcical, just kind of like, more like a Some Like It Hot.
You're right.
It's
right.
not like a 1950s or 60s sort of like cross-dressing type movie. And I think that's how like Armin Shimmerman hoped to play it, because I read like he actually based his performance off of Dustin Hoffman's Tootsie.
Oh, okay.
And so I think that's how in his mind he saw it coming out, but I don't think it translated too well. No. And I think like the subject matter was
anything too well.
Yeah, it already starts off pretty dark.
Yeah, it really does. So let's start. We open on Quark, who is in Quark's his bar, talking to Allura, who's one of his Dabo girls. And he gives her a glowing performance review, but encourages her to learn how to do UMOX by reading UMOX for Fun and Profit, which is definitely sexual harassment. And there's certainly laws against this.
Yeah, it starts off, and this is kind of like a late in the season, or at least late in the series type episode to have, it's like the 6th season, and this is also episode 23, the 6th season. So it's just like, this is almost season 7, and Quark is still trying to coerce women to have sex with him under penalty of being fired or having some sort of like financial or professional gain to him to having sex with him. And so it's just like, damn, it's like, has Quark learned
No, Quark has learned absolutely nothing. And it's like, it's fine if he's still like kind of his cheating old like wheeling dealing ways, that's just how Ferengis are. But like Ferengis don't have to be sexual harassers. Like at this point, especially after Grilka, like you think he would have been more of a feminist, having seen like very strong women and been dominated by women.
Instead, he's doing like some Harvey Weinstein shit. He's just like, he's like,
why don't you give me a massage? Oh yeah, let me take off my robe.
Yeah, if you jerk me off, you jerk my lobes off, you'll get a raise.
Yeah. How do you like Latinum, baby? So
it's already started off on a pretty dark tone.
Yeah, so Rom busts in and to warn his brother that he can't contact anyone on Ferenginar. Quark tries to brush him off, but later the two begin to believe the Dominion has invaded Ferenginar. They rush to ops to warn the crew, who don't believe it. Shortly afterward, Dax reports that the shuttle of Grand Negus Zek has requested permission to dock at DS9, and they are relieved. Over the airlock, Quark and Rom greet the Grand Negus and Ishka, who's Quark and Mom's mother, otherwise known as Moogie. Moogie! They explain they had to flee Ferenginar because Zek was deposed by the FCA commissioners for granting females the right to wear clothes with an amendment to the Ferengi Bill of Opportunities. Which I love that they have a Bill of Opportunities.
Yeah.
Very on brand for the Ferengi. Zek is said to be replaced by Brunt, FCA, who has taken over the government as acting Grand Negus after financial chaos shook the entire Ferengi alliance. Zek is convinced his move makes good business sense and wants DS9's help to reconquer an empire or die in the attempt. Quark and Rom share a look and then rush after the former Grand Negus Zek. Opening credits! This was a really fun cold open. Gave us a great idea of what's going to happen in the episode. Kind of. Mm-hmm. I don't know. No, it's not a great cold open. That part was pretty good, but the whole sexually harassing your employee and trying to get them to jerk off your ears, not good.
Yeah. It's also, Quark is one of our main characters, mm-hmm. and, obviously, like, he's a bit of a scamp,
right?
Scoundrel.
Sure.
He's a rapscallion. Like, he's not like he's not supposed to be like completely unforgivably evil, and just like, and coercing like a woman to have sex with you. Definitely like kind of like definitely in television language, that's like an irredeemable thing you can do,
right?
It's like, it is in real life, but like when you have like main characters, you don't want to see your character do that, your heroic characters do that, mm-hmm. and it's one of those things you don't have them do, and you're just kind of like, that kind of leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth already. So it's just like, and again, like, we've been with Quark since episode 1 of this series, mm-hmm. and we've seen Quark have like growth, he's
especially when it comes to women. We had the rules of acquisition with Pell. Obviously we've mm-hmm. had several episodes with Moogie and her gaining more power over the Ferengi Alliance by her relationship with Zek, mm-hmm. and also both of his episodes with Grilka. Mm-hmm. We see him, have a lot of growth when it comes to like respecting women, and here he is back.
His friendship with Dax.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. His weird relationship with Kira.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like, come on, bestie. You shouldn't be doing this still, but. Yeah. I mean, I guess like it does it for the service of the story, where we're seeing that we get to see Quark have a sort of like
glow
change
up
at the end.
I guess this is the episode where he finally respects women, and I'm like, why here?
Yeah, why here? And
so,
but yeah,
we come back, and Zek declares Quark's quarters as the headquarters of the sole legitimate government of Ferenginar. He explains their plan is for Moogie to convince the commissioners of the FCA that Ferengi females are indeed intelligent, and that a more prosperous Ferenginar economy will result. He's convinced that Moogie can win them over. It's clear, though, that Moogie is driving the plan, as she has to remind him of the details of it.
It is funny how this is a very neoliberal solution to equality. Mm-hmm. Just like, it's just like the entire argument is just like, women can make money too and spend money too.
Yeah, women can wear clothes. Like, yeah,
women can work, and then like but yeah, it's just like that's where the feminist movement. That's where their feminist movement is surrounded by. It's just like, women can also spend money and make money. Mm-hmm. That's where it's like, that's what has them go like, maybe equality isn't so bad. This is a very kind of just neoliberal way of coming about it.
Yeah. So Moogie goes even further, saying she envisions a female Grand Negus in the future. This confuses Zek, but the moment passes, and Zek is like getting played like a fiddle this entire time in a way we haven't seen since Ronald Reagan and Nancy Reagan taking advantage of his twilight years of fucking dementia and just like, basically doing everything for him.
It's all that Beatle snuff. Mm-hmm. Made him lose his edge, his lobes, his lobes for business are gone.
So, Quark, Rom, and Nog agree to help Zek by sending messages to all 432 FCA commissioners. requesting a conference for Mugi's demonstration. And this scene is like very oddly directed, and it's just like it's different cuts of like Rom, Nog, and Quark like calling people and being like, "Oh, well, no need to be rude," and like, they hung up and like shit like that, and they're just like getting denied by all of the FCA commissioners.
Yeah.
Except for one. Many have choice words for Zek, and some even thought that he was dead. All of the commissioners decline, except for Nilva, chairman of Sluggo Cola, who is a conservative man with a whole lot of influence over the FCA and Ferenginar in general.
Yep, and Nilva's played by Henry Gibson.
Yeah, from Will and Grace.
Yeah, and Blues Brothers. He was the head. He was the Nazi in the Blues Brothers.
Yeah, that guy rules. He died a few years ago, right? 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's also in Magnolia. He's like one of the guys.
Oh, that's
that are
right.
Like,
he's in Biodome too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love him.
Yeah, he's really funny.
Yeah, so
definitely good Ferengi. He's like the small little weird guy.
Yeah, we love it's amazing how like many weird little guys they get to play Ferengis. It's just got like all the weird little guys, and like and then Jeffrey Combs is Brunt, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he's a weird little guy too.
Yeah. He was also in The Burbs. He was also like the weird neighbor.
Oh, Robert Picardo's in that too, yeah?
Yep. Robert Picardo. Yes, that's a Joe Dante joint.
Oh, yeah, right. For sure. We love Joe Dante.
Of course, Robert Picardo is going to be
in it. He's in everything Joe Dante makes. He's, someone's got to have sex with the female gremlin, And Joe Dante's like, I've got just the fella.
Robert Picardo just like takes a long drag on a cigarette and pours himself a scotch and like just show me the damn gremlin.
I can do it. This is acting. I will stay hard for hours.
I went to Juilliard.
So after a long session of calls, the group of Ferengi reconvenes at Quark's. Zek can't believe that he was denied by so many people, thinking that he had a better response due to all the business he's had with the FCA commissioners. Mugi is somewhat optimistic, but just then, Brunt, FCA, walks in, jeopardizing the plan. Brunt orders an eelwaster from Quark and proceeds to gloat over his newfound power as acting Negus. The group asks him why he's there, but Brunt continues berating them and being a fucking dickhead, because Brunt is a fucking dick. Zek says he should...
Combs is great at playing the villains.
He really is. It's just like playing like smarmy people.
Yeah.
Zek says he should have never reinstated Brunt. Quark brings Brunt his drink, but Brunt says that he's changed his mind and now wants a Sluggo Cola, referring to Nilva's expecting appearance on the station. He plans to bribe him, but Quark kicks him out of the bar. After he leaves, Quark has to lie down.
Yeah, he's just like, you're going to be in the poorhouse. You'll be a pauper after this.
Quark doesn't rest for too long before his mother comes in to talk to him, saying he's feeling sorry for himself. She tries to cheer him up, but he's not in the mood. He says she has been manipulating Zek ever since she met him, without caring for the consequences of her motives. She's offended by this and retorts that Quark can always go crawling back to Brunt, but Quark wants things back the way it was. The argument gets more heated as he exclaims that she's the worst thing to happen to all of them, to all of Ferenginar. She now berates him, but then she tries to call him something but can't get it out. After Quark screams at her to say what she wants to him, she abruptly falls to the floor, seemingly dead. And then
also,
Rom comes in and is like, Moogie.
It's interesting. Quark has never had any sort of like run-ins with any sort of like therapist on like, you know, like Troy or something. Someone be like, so why do you want your mother to not wear clothes? Let's explore that.
Well, I feel like I think therapy is illegal on Bajor, which is why Kira is the way she is.
Okay.
Which is why she like just ends up with like really weird toxic men.
She ends up with a cop.
Exactly. She is kind of a cop, though. She's always the acting security chief when Quark is away. Or not Quark, but when Odo's away. So, so in the infirmary, Moogie is still alive and being treated, and Bashir determines that she had a heart attack and needs a new heart, but she will live after a few days' rest. Glaring at Clark, Bashir says she needs to be kept away from him, having overheard Moogie saying it's all Quark's fault over and over again in her sleep. The group stares at him, already suspicious at his cover story for what happened. He comes clean to Zek and Rom in the bar and apologizes for the whole thing. Zek says they can't postpone the meeting with the Sluggo Cola guy. Brunt and his servant, Uberlosh, step in to ridicule them. After he leaves, Zek is determined to hold the meeting, but Ishka Moogie won't give up. He comes to the conclusion that Quark should instead impersonate Moogie. And here's where it gets especially bad. So for some reason, Bashir agrees to this. And
yeah, that was fascinating to me because like I was just like, so like transition surgery is just something that you can just request on a whim. And it's just like, you know, I mean, you know, that's great, like it has no barriers, but like Bashir just does it without any sort of like you know, like he doesn't question Quark's motives behind it, which again, that's good, but still it's just like Quark is obviously doing this doing a sex transitioning as a ruse, to trick people. It's not like an actual like life-saving surgery for Quark. It's something Quark's and this is like, and also during the like why Bashir is caring for Quark's mother who needs a new heart, and Quark's like, yeah, let's just do some sex reassignment surgery.
And Bashir, for some reason, is like, yeah, okay, sure, fine. So Bashir successfully changes Quark to be more feminine, and he's now fully dressed up, though very uncomfortable and critical of his looks. So I think he's got like a full sex reassignment for the most part. He's definitely has like hormonally, he's a woman now. I don't know if they took his penis or not. They don't really address that.
I think they did.
Okay, interesting.
Like I'm pretty sure Quark's hog was taken because I mean spoiler, there's like a point where Quark becomes undressed to affirm, you know, the femininity, and I'm not sure how far down it goes. I'm like wondering if it was just the boobs, but I was wondering if it went all the way down.
Oh, that'd be amazing if like they gave Quark a pussy, like a big juicy pussy. What do you think Quark's pussy would smell like?
I am not going to speculate on that because I want to sleep tonight.
I think it'll smell like an old cave full of like decaying brie and Munster cheese.
I can get behind that. I mean, given like, you know, we see that the Ferengi are kind of like swamp monsters.
Yeah. But I feel like they're very clean, though. I just feel like he's got a really bad diet, and he wouldn't take care of like his pH balance and stuff, and so he'd have like a constant like funky yeast infection.
And also, I feel like he only really transitioned for like 6 hours. I think they say that at the end.
Wow. But even during that time, he got a funky pussy.
Yeah. He just like he just went full hog. He's just like, let's get this thing nasty.
Yeah,
but like
it's like, you know how big my dick is? Make my pussy that big on the inside.
He sped run it, and he's just like, all right, let's get this done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get that bread, and to get that bread, we need yeast.
That's so disgusting, man.
Thank you.
It's like, I'm saving on alcohol by just fermenting fruit juice and my discharge together. It's been a revolution for my bar. And fucking O'Brien's just drinking a beer and stops drinking and slowly puts it down.
He never drinks another drop.
But fucking Morn is over there in the corner. He's like, I'll have 2 more. Make it a double. I want that stanky quark pussy juice. So Zek gives Quark his mother's notes full of facts and figures. Lita also helps him with his walk to look more feminine, but Rom oddly chimes in with several good pointers, because Rom is definitely trans.
Yeah, they transitioned the wrong brother.
They really did. Like, this one should have been about Rom cracking his egg, because like Rom is like, you know how there's that weird pipeline from like the most weird, awkward guy you've ever seen to like the hottest trans girl alive? I don't know what it is, but it's like a reality. Like, you see fucking like on Twitter, like glow up photos, and like the left photo is always like the weirdest dude you'll ever see. And then like, fucking a few years on HRT, and suddenly they're like just fucking hot. And I'm like, what is that? I think,
like they say, like they're always, that's like, as man, that's what the most depressed they've ever been.
Right, so exactly. And so it's, if you look like, or, you feel like shit, you look like shit a lot of the time. And that's kind of how it is. And, Rom is a weird looking, weird talking motherfucker. And I think he's just an egg. I think Rom is trans, personally. That's personal theory.
I think Lita kind of knows that, because Lita seemed very supportive.
Oh, Lita's Lita's a lesbian. We all know this. Yeah.
Lita was just like, she probably saw like, it's not your time yet, Rom.
Yeah.
You're right there. You're right there.
Mm-hmm. So suddenly Nog bursts in and announces that Nilva from Slogo Cola has arrived early to the station. Zek tells him to expect his other female advisor, Lumba, tomorrow. The group reminds Quark all the things he needs to study before the next day. Nog goes to greet Nilva at the airlock. He's very energetic and immediately gives Nog a Sluggo Cola and is insistent on meeting Moogie right away.
Did you want to drink Sluggo Cola as much as I did?
Oh, yeah. It's like green and full of algae. Yeah, it sounds delicious, honestly.
Yeah, I know you're a soda aficionado.
Oh, yes, 100%.
And so like I was just like, I'd drink that shit. That looked kind of good. Like, I like the color green, so and it looked thick, it looked opaque, opaque soda. So I was just like, I'm kind of down with that.
Yeah, it looks like maybe like an aloe soda or something. Like
it definitely had 43 different kinds of algae in it. So
that sounds delicious to me. So it's pretty much like Dr. Pepper of like old pool water. It's like if you carbonated old pool water, that would probably be pretty close to Slogo Cola.
Yeah, straight from the swamp.
Fucking Shrek would love that.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of I can see like if Shrek existed in the Star Trek universe, he would live on Ferenginar.
Yeah, he would be just like a really fat Ferengi.
Yeah,
the fat Scottish Ferengi. I grew up on the Scottish planet. He leads himself to the meeting with Ishka while Nog trails behind. He runs into Brunt, who insists on a meeting afterwards, and Nilva agrees to meet with Brunt. Brunt attempts to thwart the meeting, saying Ishka is in the infirmary, but Nog is able to tell them both about Lumba, the second female advisor, much to Brunt's confusion. Nilva is unfazed and now is intent to meet her instead. While the group is critiquing Quark on his feminine qualities, Nilva arrives with a whole bag of Sluggo Cola for everybody. Nilva is excited to meet Lumba and suggests to have dinner with her that night, as he's due back on Ferenginar the next day. The plan is very rushed, and nervous excitement is everywhere with the Ferengis. During dinner with Lumba, Nilva is convinced of the opportunities that Zek's feminist approach presents, because Lumba is so well-spoken. And I don't know if this is the right message here. Like, the only way to like be impressed by a female is for a man to impersonate a female. I don't really like that at all.
They do say a lot, like how, like, wow, Lumba is so well spoken and so intelligent, and never seen a woman like that before. And it's just like, well, it's
like Joe Biden calling Barack Obama clean. Like, hey, it's very clean and well spoken, Jack. Like, no, man, no.
That's also kind of why I feel like it should have. I don't think they should have fully transitioned Quark. I think like it should have been more of like the 1950s type thing where it's like, you know, like Some Like It Hot where Quark is just wearing a dress or something.
Yeah, kind of just a reverse Rules of Acquisition with Pell, where Pell, like, you know, just trans mask, you know?
Yeah, and just like, because that would give a little bit more of, you know, tension and drama to the whole thing, where it's like, you know, Quark has to, like, you know, do this, and it should have been like maybe Moogie coming in at the end and really sealing the deal. And, you know, just like where Quark is too involved in like keeping, you know, like there's going to be like lots of like different like goofy circumstances where like Quark could potentially be exposed, you know, and then Quark's trying to get around that. That's where like the humor in that should have come from.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it should have been Moogie at the end be like, shut up, Quark, and really kind of just like, yeah, she comes in on a wheelchair, you know, like kind of like the type wheelchair or something.
Oh yeah, that would have been so sick. Yeah, that's not how it worked out though. So
no, instead, like Quark just tricks him.
So during dinner with Lumba, Nilva is convinced of the opportunities of Zek's feminist approach. The main argument of this approach being that clothing includes pockets, and if women can have pockets, females will thus want to make money in order to have something to put in those pockets. Lumba further notes that Nilva's sales, which have suffered recently, can be improved if he markets to females. And they haven't changed the Sluggo Cola motto in like a century, and Quark, as you know, a woman, is like maybe you should like make it more about like appearance stuff. Like Sluggo Cola contains like a bunch of algae, right? Well, maybe you can market it as like drink Sluggo Cola to bring that green shine back to your teeth. Which was
and again
fun.
Like it's like this is like it goes against like kind of like they're doing, because like Quark is seeing this through the lens of like being very sexist.
100%.
So he's like, so Quark has like, you know, Quark isn't a woman. Quark's not trans. Quark is just literally seeing this through the eyes of a man petitioning for as a woman.
Right.
And it's like, well, women are concerned about their appearance, you know.
Yeah.
And so he's just doing like the gendered like kind of like capitalist marketing that we do now.
Right.
You know, selling the same product for just like, you know, 5 times more than it's actually worth.
Yeah.
You know, just like
I'm surprised he didn't go like, well, if women can wear, you know, clothes, women can wear shoes, and all women love shoes. Some shit like that. Like, come on.
Women
man.
like having like really, really perky breasts.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's just kind of like just like he's seen it through a male gaze type.
100%.
So it's like, and so and so still, even though like Quark brings this huge change, it's still a very sexist perception of women on Ferenginar. Like women actually don't get any sort of like voice or anything. Yeah, honestly, they should have brought Pell in back for this. Like, because that's why I think Pell would have been a good just like match for Quark.
Yeah, definitely.
and yeah, just like, and then of course, like now Quark is at 6th season, Quark has done some growth, so it would have been nice if she had actually come and advocated for Ferengi women instead of having like, women want, it's just like they're doing like a Mad Men type thing.
100%. Right. Yeah. So, in the process of talking, Nilva begins to fall for Quark. Nilva says it's time for dessert and invites Lumba back to his quarters. And Lumba's like, "Oh, I thought we were having dessert." And he's like, "Oh, you bet we are." And they go, "Fuck." And they go, "Fuck."
You're gonna have like the traditional Ferengi dessert, creamy 8 inches of creamy python.
Cream python. So Nilva's very forward, starting to undress Quark and chasing them around the table. He says he needs them and wants to marry them. Quark is increasingly unable to brush Nilva off when Brunt bursts in to announce the truth to everybody. Quark then tries to convince Nilva, rubbing his lobes and even taking off their clothes for both of them to see that they are indeed a female. Nilva is convinced and agrees to go with Lumba to tell Zek that he'll do everything he can for him, quote, because that is what Lumba wants. Brunt cannot believe this, shouting as they leave, "His name's Quark!" Very fun.
Yeah. Again, this is the point where it should have been Quark's ruse should have been revealed, and
yeah,
then like an actual Ferengi woman, actually like not even like one Ferengi woman, but like a collection of Ferengi women, like have their demands heard or what they want to see, instead of like, well, we're gonna do more sexist capitalism. Right.
And this whole episode is just like women's empowerment through the eyes of men. This is like this is like a much worse version of like Alex Garland's Men, like yeah. And much like Alex Garland's Men, everybody is played by one man, Jeffrey Combs. God. Yeah, so yeah, I think you're totally right. Like there should have been some comeuppance or like some moment where like Quark had to answer for like transitioning into a woman in order to deceive a man. But there was nothing there, and it's one of those things where like what did we learn from this? And there's really no good answer because we don't learn anything from this, because right after this, Bashir restores Quark to a man again. And through, it's
just like he just has like an opening. He's just like, yeah, I got an opening between 4 and 4:30 if you just want to detransition.
Yeah,
just combines. And the same day, like he's just like, yeah, no problem.
Like I can totally see at this point, like Quark, like legit becoming like a detrans influencer, like Ollie London or some shit like that.
Yeah, he becomes Ollie London.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, it's like, yes, like surgery should be available, like, at people's discretion, but also, I mean, there should be some integrity to it.
Right. Like,
where some guy who just does it to grift somebody can't just like get it done.
Right. I do like that, like the future is so utopian though that it's like trans surgery immediately and on demand. It's like this is like what Republicans are like, this is what liberals want.
Yeah, Quark's just like, one transition surgery please, and 6 hours later, one detransition surgery please.
And Bashir's like, are you sure? And Quark's like, are you questioning my gender? He's like, I'm so sorry. It just does it immediately. Hits the man button.
It's just like, was it a slow day or something? Like he was just
right.
Yeah, no problem.
And we're still in the middle of the Dominion War, but apparently there's no one to treat medically on the station, which is like the fucking like the battlefront for the war.
Yeah, in a single day he did a transition surgery, did heart transplant on an elderly woman, on an elderly Ferengi woman, and then it did the detransition surgery of the person he transitioned earlier in that day.
Yeah, right. All in a fucking day's work. It's like, this is the future liberals want. This is why universal healthcare is wrong.
Yep.
Quark's holding a ring that Nilva gave to Lumba. Odo comes in, as he usually does, to ask about it. However, Quark's hormones get the best of him, and he has to cry on Odo's shoulder. Odo lets it happen until he realizes that Morn is watching. And he's like, no.
Again, this is also just another very sexist view of women, where it's just like female hormone. Like,
yeah, women be crying.
Female hormones. Yeah,
women be crying.
Yeah, they be crying. There's just like, yeah, he's overcome with emotion, has to cry, and again, this is like very bizarre.
It is, especially because none of the other Ferengi females we've seen act like this at all. And none of the women, even on DS9 or really Star Trek up until like Discovery, act like this at all. You know, no one is like so like guided by their hormones. They have like, I don't know, like medications and fixes for that in the future, you know?
Yeah, and actually it's funny because what Ferengi women we have seen have actually been very empowered in a way.
100%.
You know, we've seen Moogie, Pell.
Yeah.
You know, they're very very opinionated and also exhibit a bit of a soft power where they're actually like the real decision makers behind the scenes, and you know, basically guiding the decisions of weaker willed men, and which is again why Ferengi women should have been, instead of like doing this whole, you know, this whole plot. Yeah, it should have. I mean, that's, as I said, it should have been like Quark doing a very bad cross-dressing thing where he's trying to like pass himself off as a woman and failing miserably, and
then getting found out. Yeah, and having to like repent.
And then like women, and then like a female Ferengi come in and save his ass, and that's where he goes, "Oh my god, maybe I was wrong about this."
Yeah, and then being like in the female Ferengi doing it using, you know, like female qualities and stuff like nurturing and, you know, like intuition and empathy and stuff like that, and then like Quark being like, oh, I finally like get it, you know, and I get like why women are important and why men and women, you know, can't occupy the exact same, you know, like energies and like purposes, and like why women have their own thing that they can contribute to society, and that's what should have convinced the FCA and Zek and everyone in the end. But instead they're like, oh, well, pants have pockets, so they want to put something in those pockets, and that's okay. Come on, great. Okay, so Zek's group comes by to thank Quark and say goodbye before they leave. Ishka forgives him as well, noting Quark made a good daughter while he was one. Which I'm like, that just reaffirms all the dumb shit he did. I don't like that at all. So after Zek and Moogie leave, Allura comes by to Quark to tell him that she has been studying Umox from the book he gave her. Quark immediately tells her it was wrong of him to make her do that, and instead gives her a raise of 2 strips of latinum a week. Allura, however, thought it sounded like fun, but Quark still insists that it is wrong. As she begins to leave, though, he comes to his senses and goes after her, begging for Umox. So he didn't grow after all. Neato. The end.
And it's funny, Armin Shimmerman actually like advocated for that ending.
Interesting.
Because at first, like, Quark doesn't learn anything in this, and he still kind of doesn't learn anything, but he does kind of have like, he has like that, I walked a mile in your shoes type thing. Like, now I see what I did was wrong. But then at the end, I don't know, it's kind of undone by his last sentence. So he's like, what was I thinking? I need to get jacked off by my subordinate.
Yeah, right. Like, I need to get a fucking hand job from my employee. Wait up. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he did say, like, you know, he has to learn something, and he kind of does.
Kind of. Really. I mean, yeah. What do we learn as the audience? Like, it's okay to like, you know, kind of take transition with a grain of salt if it serves our best business purposes and like helps us out politically. Like, I don't know about this. I don't know about like the lesson of this episode or what it's really supposed to be saying, but I don't think it's saying anything good, honestly.
Yeah, because really there is no gains for feminism. They just learned that they can be sexist and make money off of it.
Right. It's like, oh wait, you know what's more important? Yeah, the only lesson in this is that capitalism is slightly more important than sexism. I'm like, that's bad. That's not true or bad. Like, I think capitalism is like, you know, has sexism built into it, right? I don't know.
It's a feature, not a bug.
Definitely. So that's that episode. What do you think overall? Yeah, this one's a fucking stinker. It's
not like it's interesting to watch just because I do feel it's kind of dated, especially for like a late and, you know, especially after TNG where we got like all of like the bad Roddenberry stuff out that was like left over from the 60s, you know, a lot of that bad decision making, and it's just like, okay, well, you know, TNG like shook that all out by the second season.
Sure.
and so for it to appear in this, I mean, yeah, it's just like, you know, movies like Some Like It Hot are definitely like, or any sort of like, you know, cross-dressing thing, like, you know, One of the Boys, for example, which is, you know,
right.
or something like that, you know, that's definitely feels like products of a different age.
100%.
In a way,
yeah.
Where it's just like, you know, there's a million different like movies or whatever of like, you know, where a character has to go undercover as a different gender to for something, you know, Joanna Man.
Oh yeah, Joanna. Yeah, we love Joanna Man.
And so,
how about Lady Ballers? Come on, Lady Ballers.
Oh my god,
this episode is the Lady Ballers of Star Trek.
It is the Lady Ballers of Star Trek, but woof, yeah, it's just definitely a product. And even Lady Ballers being made in what 2023 is. Was that 2024 that it come out?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but like in that felt dated. It wasn't even a successful example of that sort of like trope of the you know, cross-dressing, you know, character has to cross-dress for to accomplish something that then, and this really wasn't either, because the fact that it was like a full medical transition like didn't add that sort of like, you know, well, will he get discovered? Bashir
just gave Quark a pussy. It's so funny, like how Bashir like really like picks and chooses when he has like ethics whatsoever.
Yeah,
like he refuses. Like if Cisco fucking tells him to do anything that is even slightly unethical, he's like, I need fucking paperwork for that. We're gonna record all of this. I gotta BCC my boss on the email. And then when fucking Quark is like, give me a pussy so I can change the Ferengi Empire, Bashir's like, yeah, okay, yeah, let's do that. Like, dude, what? Like,
yeah, isn't he also doing that? Isn't he also making the Federation liable for
100%?
Sort of like,
yeah,
because like that is
he's part of conspiracy against a government, a foreign government. Which, so doing this is like fucking espionage, honestly, towards Ferenginar. Like, this is sedition. Like, this is all types of fucked up and really bad episode of Star Trek, especially DS9. It's probably the worst episode of DS9.
And and they don't have many excuses. I mean, this is written by Stephen Bear
and Hans Beimler, both of whom wrote fucking Far Beyond the Stars Together, which is the best episode of DS9, maybe of Star Trek entirely.
And directed by Alexander Siddig, you know, one of the main cast, you know, person who knows like the ins and outs of all of the
and he knows Bashir and his code of ethics, and he totally abandons them for this episode. So he directs himself poorly and everyone else kind of poorly. So maybe it's for the best that he only directed 2 episodes overall.
Yeah.
So yikes. Big yikes. This one stinks. I'm going to give it a 2.5 stars out of 10.
Yeah. It did get some laughs out of me. I think I think that at one point when what does Zek say? He's like, this is my son. He's the first Ferengi in Starfleet, and he's just like, I'll pretend you didn't say that or something. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. And Wallace Shawn is always funny and like magnetic in the show. And honestly, another reason they don't have any excuse here is this cast, the supporting cast of this is stacked. You got Wallace Shawn, you got the second Moogie. We've got
Henry Gibson.
We got Henry Gibson. We got Nog up in this motherfucker a lot. You got Jeffrey Combs as Brunt. Like, you can't lose here. This should be like a good Ferengi episode, but it is one of the worst episodes and objectively the worst Ferengi episode.
It is, and it's like one of the last kind of Ferengi episodes, really.
It is.
You think about it, and then, in Ferengi episodes, I know a lot of people like, Ferengi episodes are kind of like an inside joke, being bad episodes. I like all the Ferengi episodes.
I mean, like all of the Grilka episodes are good. Fucking the Magnificent Ferengi is really good. Yeah, Rules of Acquisition is really good. Yeah, no, there's plenty of really good Ferengi episodes, but this is not one of them.
Nope.
Well, you got anything else to say about this bad boy?
Nah, I mean, this is probably don't watch it. It's not one that aged well at all.
Unless you want like a good not laugh, like an existential laugh of, oh my god, they did that. Like,
yeah, it's just like woof. And yeah, I think Armin Shimmerman has said this is his least favorite episode and is not proud of it. And so yeah, no one involved in making this actually liked it. I think Lita is the only one who said she liked this episode just because she got to teach Quark how to walk sexily.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she only got her page of the script.
Yeah. But I mean, it was probably fun for her. That was Yeah.
Well, guess that's all we have to say about this one. I would not recommend it. Thanks for hanging with us, Soyagers. If you like this show, please go check us out on patreon.com/dumbidiotyes and like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get podcasts. I've been Britton.
And I've been Pat. All right. Thanks for checking with us, soy boys, girls, and wiggly beans.
Hang dong and shocker.
Hang dong, shocker.
Soy, 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 soy.